When you swallow a swallow a
countries on planet Earth are utilizing this Masonic warfare platform, okay? And as they are all high-ranking Masons, all of them, okay? Not Masons in the form of guys who are setting up sidewalks and driveways, okay? They're not those type of Masons. These Masons build governments. They build them and they defend them. The contracts that point out that the King of Great Britain has, all the countries have the same contracts. They all have their own strategic metals contract in place that allows them to print and mint their own coinage based upon their banking system, okay? Everybody has commodities that they trade around the world with each other, and that's what those banking systems are based upon. Oil being one of the biggest. monarch on the planet. That's why he is the Postmaster General of the world. What we're going to look at is where the crown derives its authorization or its authorities. That their entire system is based on. Okay, real quick, let's go back and recover some American history, okay? Back when the colonies were founded, there was 13 colonies of Britain. And before the American Revolution broke out, our post office was the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania post office, the Benjamin Franklin post office, okay, or postal court, which is here. And once the American Revolution had broke out, the king had cut off our ability to conduct international trade and commerce out of that post office because we went to war against Great Britain, right? So the war, all wars vacate that kind of contract. So our shipping was cut off. After the American Revolution, we couldn't open commerce back up through this post office because we were thanks to the French for funding the American Revolution. So at that point, the King of Spain and the King of France argued over who was going to be the Postmaster General here in the United States to open it up to international trade and commerce. Right? Spain said that they had found America first. Christopher Columbus had discovered the New World first, so they had rights to it. France said that without loaning America the 1.6 million francs, the United States wouldn't even be open for capture. But the King of Great Britain, still being the reigning monarch in the world, said those are my people, and I'm going to put my post office in up there and open this thing up to trade and commerce. You guys need to stand down. So that's how he became the Postmaster General of the United States. And the Canada location has always been attached to that postal location as well. So the King of Great Britain took tactical command and control of the entire North American continent in the process. Monarchs and dictators of the world wanted to come into our country, or the United States, and rape and pillage it for its natural resources and its goods, they'd have to go through him and his post office to do so. So everything that was shipped in and out of the country, all trade and commerce, he got pieced up through that post office. Just like he did down in the East Indies. He is taking tactical command and control of the movement and shipment of all goods on planet Earth. That's his end goal. Objective that has been placed into motion here by the Crown, the Vatican, and London City and the Rothschilds. Okay, and the reason the American Revolution had kicked off was because the United States wanted to float currency into the global market, and because they based their monetary system on the value of the land, it never fluctuates. It's a solid base, right? But the Rothschilds fluctuate gold and silver up and down in relation to what they have going on. And because our currency doesn't fluctuate, and these guys would drop the price of gold down, America could buy it up, and eventually would become the global power on the planet. So, the Rothschilds attacked the Crown, and the Crown said, you guys can't do that, and as a matter of fact, this is war against me, and I'm not going to let that happen. So that was the reason for the American Revolution. But the long-range objective was to give the United States more money from these guys in an effort to surrender them back to Great Britain. And how that was going to work was you only get 3 chances to pay off the debt that you borrowed from these guys. If you can't pay it off, then your surrender, the Crown will step in, pay the debt to these guys off for you, and then capture you back as part of his system, or part of Great Britain. And you all become peasants and serfs again. And this entire thing revolves around the year 1999. States for the entire plan. Okay, so when the colonies had come out of the American Revolution and the king stepped in and broke up the United States, the U.S. Constitution was drafted. Okay, and the U.S. Constitution outlined how the king's government was going to interact with the colonies in relation to international trade and commerce. Okay, and this thing was seen by Patrick Henry and the colonials as so tyrannical that they created the Bill of Rights, outlining, or I should say, laying out what it was in Great Britain, and that federal government, the Fed, would never have the power to infringe upon it, because they knew that this king was so tyrannical, eventually he would force his authority into the state territories and try to tell you what you couldn't say, what you couldn't write, right? The freedom of the press, that you couldn't bear arms, you didn't have the right to defend your country. So those things were outlined here in the Bill of Rights, and those were things that the king would never have the power to infringe upon, ever. It was done. It was the only thing that ratified the U.S. Constitution. And they were not going to sign it. The colonials refused to sign it until these guys, the Fed, accepted this outline. The reason that 1999 is an event-horizon year is because in 1999 was the end of the third and final international bankruptcy of the United States. And we were going to be surrendered back over to Great Britain because we could afford to pay the debt to London and the Rothschilds and the 13 banking families were on. But that meant that the U.S. Constitution had come to an end. It was over. It was the end of the third and final international bankruptcy, and the contract between us and Great Britain was expired.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution, people can stop it. Write for Pollution Booklet, Box 1771, Radio City Station, New York.
When you swallow it,
Quiet.